Your brain isn't broken. It's just starving. When I was in active addiction, I didn't realize when I was chasing whiskey, I was actually chasing dopamine. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Let Me Be Frank. I am Franklin Embry. I'm an artist, a creative. I'm also an alcoholic and have severe ADHD. So I got sober in 2021, and these last 4+ years have really been just a journey of getting to know myself better. And for the longest time, I thought alcohol was my problem. But the deeper I dug into all this, I started to realize alcohol wasn't my problem. I had a problem with dopamine. And the crazy part is I didn't figure that out till after I got sober. Because after I got sober, I was still chasing dopamine. For me, my problem with drinking wasn't starting. It was quitting. Once I took that first drink, I had to drink that whole bottle, man. I got a song called Drink Until the Bottle's Gone, and that is a true story. Every time I opened up a bottle, I had to drink it until it was gone. Then a light bulb went off when I realized alcohol wasn't the only thing I did that with. I also do that with food. Like, I open up a bag of chips, and we probably ain't gonna put that bag down till the whole bag is gone. Same behavior, different addiction. You see, during these last 4 years of sobriety, I've basically traded in my alcohol addiction for a food addiction. I basically went from a binge drinker to a binge eater. And the root cause of both of them, dopamine. With ADHD, your brain naturally struggles with dopamine regulation. So back when I drank alcohol, the alcohol gave me dopamine that made me feel normal for a little bit. And food does the same thing. It's probably my main source of dopamine these days. Of course, in true Franklin Embry fashion, I'm going to find a way to make content about it. I've always found a way to turn my addiction into content, which is actually why I started my new channel, Frank's Fat Boy Adventures. If you like food, travel, small town gyms, all that kind of stuff, then I think you'll like the channel. I will link it in the description. But back to ADHD and my constant need for dopamine. Because if I'm being honest, this next part really blew my mind. The craziest thing that happened to me after I got sober, I was still getting hangovers. No alcohol, no drinking, but I still felt hungover. And I remember thinking, how does this even make sense? But now I understand it. I was literally having dopamine crashes. I'd go out with friends, eat a bunch of food, socialize, have a good time. But I was getting overstimulated with dopamine, then boom, the next day, crash. I was completely drained. No motivation, anxiety through the roof, feeling depressed, just drained. Like, it felt just like a hangover with no alcohol. And even then, it didn't fully click till we went to New York. Now, if you've ever been to New York, especially if you're from like a smaller place like Kentucky, like, it's insane, like sensory overload. There is just so much going on up there. The food, the lights, the people, the energy, it's constant stimulation. And I think that's why I love New York so much, because when I was up there, my brain was eating it up. But as soon as I got home, crashed. I crashed hard for like 3 straight days. I was anxious, drained, depressed, just mentally fried. And honestly, I was confused. Like, I remember just sitting here thinking, like, what is wrong with me? And that's really when the hyper focus kicked in and I started going down the rabbit hole of ADHD. The different types, adults and ADHD, how addiction connects to it, dopamine, all that stuff. And I ain't even gonna front. My whole life really started to make sense. Like, I've always figured I had ADHD. I was diagnosed as a kid. But my mom, being my mom, she told the doctor he was full of shit and she wasn't putting me on no medication. That wasn't gonna happen. My baby ain't going on no medication. So I've never been medicated for it. I've just been raw dogging life this whole time. And honestly, some of y'all probably are too. But for me and learning all this stuff about ADHD, it's really helped. It's answered so many questions. Why I don't feel normal, why my brain never shuts off, why I go all in on stuff, why I get addicted easy, why I constantly need stimulation. Pause. But most importantly, why I drank the way I drank. Because now looking back at it, I realized like the alcohol was just me self-medicating and not even realizing it. For a little while, alcohol would slow my brain down. It would quiet the noise. It made me feel comfortable socially and gave me relief until it didn't. But now I understand something about myself that I never understood before. I can't take that first drink safely. And it's not because I'm weak or a bad person. It's just because I need that dopamine. I need that dopamine hit, and I need it more and more and more and more. That's just the reality of it. That's how I'm wired. So yeah, ADHD and addiction, they go hand in hand. At least for me, they do. And honestly, if I don't learn how to manage my ADHD and my constant need for dopamine, it could destroy me. Because even if I'm sober, I'm still an addict. Now, the addiction just looks different. And sometimes I just don't think people talk about that enough. People think once you quit drinking, once you quit drugs, the battle's over. But sometimes you just transfer that addiction somewhere else. Food, work, shopping, social media, validation, attention, your brain, it wants that dopamine. And that, my friends, is just the truth. So for me, I know I need to get serious about my ADHD and learn better ways to manage it. And that's something I've actively been working on. Okay, so how do we wrap up this episode? Honestly, I just think we need to normalize talking about mental health. None of us are perfect. We all got struggles. We all got demons. We all got stuff that we are battling privately. And in the recovery community, there's a saying, recover out loud. And I think the reason that matters is because when people see someone fighting and battling just to become a better version of themselves, it inspires other people. It gives people hope that they can do the same thing. And personally, I think the world needs more of that. More honesty, more hope, more growth. As a creative, I never wanted my identity to become just addiction and recovery. I didn't want that to be my niche. But when I first got sober, I talked about it a lot because I just had to put them feelings out there. I was literally just trying to survive each day. I was just trying to stay sober, one day at a time, 1 hour at a time, sometimes 1 second at a time. So I talked about it a lot on social media, and I had a lot of people, message me and tell me how I inspired them. People telling me I inspired them to get sober. That's powerful. As time went on and the more comfortable I got with my sobriety, I stopped talking about it less and less. And it wasn't intentionally, it just kind of happened. But I'm hoping this podcast can change that. For me, if talking about my struggles can help somebody with theirs, it's a good damn reason to talk about them. And honestly, inspiring somebody to get sober, that's pretty fucking cool. That's a real impact. But at the end of the day, my goal with all my content is just to provide value. Whether that's making you laugh, motivating you, entertaining you, just making you feel less alone. For me, I just want people to get something positive from it. So if you've made it this far and you've gotten some value out of this video, please do me a favor and and hit the heart button. Drop a comment. Let me know if you connect with any of this stuff. Embry Gang, like always, thanks for tuning in. Fat Boy out.